Hey guys, Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy, and this is your weekly market recap for the week ending February the 1st, 2019. Week started off not much different than the past couple of weeks. Offer lists by packers were very thin. Only a handful of selections offered by most packers. In fact, they looked very similar to last week. Packers were touting and laying claims to strong sold forward positions. And if they were going to sell, they were going to adhere to their full asking price. They were not interested in listening to bids that were under their ask. And this week, as far as the interest, with the lunar holidays pending, a lot of tanners had left the office the end of last week. As the week progressed, more and more who are at least working this week started to depart for their holidays. So overall, bids were well below what most people had thought. Not a lot to look at. A little bit of business done. I think, a positive for sellers. They're able to maintain their last traded levels. However, as far as volumes, very unlikely they were able to clear their production this week, which incidentally is only 593,000, but still I think they struggled to clear that. So overall this week, I think price is fully steady, but volumes were very small. On the cowhides, same situation there. Only some limited number of offers this week. Producers were looking for more money, or at least no worse than steady. Interest, because of the holidays and people already departed for to enjoy their celebrations, was much lower than expected. The hides that did exchange hands held steady to last week, and those who are coming in looking to buy at lower levels were quickly dismissed, and most people who were bidding lower were content to wait until they get back to see what could be done. So, long story short, very unlikely we saw productions liquidated this week. As mentioned, the harvest this week, 593. That compares to 610 last week, 613 a year ago. Keep in mind, as we get into February, this is the slowest beef demand month we will see on a historical basis. That's why you're seeing harvest levels drift down to 600, a little below 6. That'll probably continue most of this month, and then once we get towards the end of the month into March, we'll start seeing it pick back up, and of course we'll be off to the races once we get to April, May. Going around the world real quick, our friends in Europe say they saw a little better interest the past couple of weeks. This week, not so much, because again, many people already departed for their holidays. That's allowed them to stabilize their prices. They're digging their heels in. They're discounting bids underneath their ask. So they're feeling a little better about the market, like the guys in the States, at least for right now. Down in Brazil, no change down there. Still lots of reports of some wet blue that's not sold, some crust that's not sold, but that hasn't resulted in them having to take any lower prices. But that said, they can't get any higher prices either. And our friends in Australia are telling us hides that are for the side leather trade are moving decent. They're struggling to move their hides destined for the automotive trade. That goes back to the fact that we've been talking about here for several weeks, that a lot of the automotive tanners have reduced their soaks, and so they're struggling to keep up with the production and liquidate that production of hides destined for the automotive trade. So as far as what is going to happen next week, first and foremost, we're going to be on holiday. It's Chinese New Year. Things are going to be very slow, so we're going to take a week off. This is our annual winter publishing break. But with the majority of Asia, if not all of Asia, out observing their lunar holiday, I look for tanners outside of Asia will be very popular with people. I'm not sure exactly how many hides they can actually buy, and of course, they'll probably want to buy at lower levels, which will be a difficult thing to do, because I think producers are trying to hold these prices together as close to steady as they possibly can. So I think we'll see lackluster interest. Harvest levels will be probably a sub 600, and I think for anything, we'll call the market unchanged for a general lack of trading. On a sad note, we want to pass on one of our friendly competitors, Don Oshman, the owner of HideNet, passed away earlier this morning. We send our condolences out to Don and his family. Don and I, although we were competitors, we were friendly competitors, and he'll be sorely missed in the trade. So that's it for now. Ken Maxfield, the Hide Guy. Come check out my website, www themaxfieldreport.com. I offer free 14-day trials. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on that. No obligation. So until 2 weeks, we'll see you again once we get back from holiday. Peace.